Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another East vs. West 17 pre-event interview. I'm your host, Ryan Turner, and I have the privilege of sitting down with one of our very best left-handeds, Kody Merritt. Welcome.
Thank you. That was like one of the most professional sounding introductions I have seen.
Really?
I don't think we even need to redo that.
Yeah, well, you broke me now, so there goes my whole professional thing. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's really good. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about being here.
Yeah, we are very excited as well. In case you haven't yet, you can find a link to the pay-per-view in the description, but also we're doing something special. Kody's going to be signing a strap for us, and we're going to give it away to somebody in the comments. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and you could find yourself with a shiny new strap with one of the strongest left arms in the world, having signed it. With that out of the way, how are you feeling for your match? Are you ready for this, Prudnick?
Is anxious a good thing?
If it gets your adrenaline up, I reckon.
I am super anxious because Evgeny is who he is. He's a legend. He's so well-rounded.
Yeah.
He can do anything on the table, and he's looking so thick right now. He's a big fella.
Yeah, I sat down with him earlier today, and I've seen him before. I barely recognized him.
Yeah.
You're going to get, I think, the very best Prudnick.
Which you kind of want that, but then you kind of don't.
Right. Because if you win, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I hope I can get there.
Well, but if I lose, I'm like, hey, he's bigger than he's ever been.
Actually, you know what? You got an excuse. So this is perfect. Thank you, Prudnick, for coming in.
All swollen.
Exactly.
No, I'm super excited about it. Anxious is a good word because he is so good. And I don't know what to. Well, I kind of know what he's going to do. He's probably going to try and stop my main move, which I'm going to try and stop his main move doing the same thing. So we'll see how it all works out.
Well, the thing with Prudnick is he's tricky because he can go inside, he can go outside, so you got to be prepared for everything. And he was not sharing any secrets about what he was going to do. So
he's going to try and hug me. It's not a secret.
It's not. He's just going to do that chop in.
He's
classic.
Good. I don't blame. I mean, if I were him, I would do that.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, why not? And I learned a fun fact about you just before we sat down. Robert Baxter, our CEO, got you into arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah. So, his wife Julie and my ex-wife were cousins.
Yeah.
So when I was dating my ex-wife, we went to her parents' house I went over to the parents' house for the Thanksgiving dinner, I think it was.
Okay.
And I met Robert there. Mm-hmm. And he had been in arm wrestling about a year, I think, a little bit over it. And if you know Robert, he wants to arm wrestle everybody all the time, anywhere.
Yeah,
he's very much like Otto Lorette or Devin Lorette.
Yeah,
if they can find a flat surface, they're going to try and arm wrestle,
even if it's not flat. Frankly,
yeah,
I've seen them pull everywhere. But yeah,
so that's kind of how Robert was, and still is, to be quite honest. But he approached me that day and said, "Hey, let's arm wrestle." I'm like, "Okay," and that was 28 plus years ago. So that Robert is. He is the main reason I am in arm wrestling right now.
Okay.
I mean, there's been other people along the way, but he's the one that got me started. I didn't know it was a sport prior to that.
And so then eventually you went to your first tournament, and were you kind of just a natural, freak, strong person, or did you really have to work your way up to get?
So I think it kind of came natural to me.
Yeah.
I'm actually right-handed, naturally. But for some reason or another, like left-handed arm wrestling it just works for me. It's like when I tell it to do something, it does it.
Yeah.
My right arm's kind of mentally challenged.
Really? Are there anything on your right arm that's better, riser, or is
so in the gym, my right's stronger.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like pronation, my left is it just does it. Yeah. And then I don't know why. I train them both equally. I don't like practice one and not the other. Right. And I've done that from day one.
No injuries on the right that would cause just...
I've had, I've had more injuries on my left.
Yeah, so...
But I have had like a bad shoulder, but that's how it's been since day one.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
It's more connected. Let's talk a little bit about what you've done on your left hand, because you're one of North America's finest. WAF champion. Tell us a little about that. Very few people can say they've won in your division in WAF. So please tell the tale.
Well, I just recently regained the number 1 spot in my household. Yep. It was a tough fought match, but the wife, I think she gave up.
Did and congratulations.
So I am number 1 in the Merritt household.
Let's go. That's a good starting point for Prudnick. Yeah. Starts with the wife, then Prudnick.
He can't say that.
He's never beaten your wife in wrestling, so yeah, that's quite the title. And then from there, WAF.
WAF, yeah, it's like a natural transition.
Yeah, one or the other, same thing.
So yeah, I've been to WAF World Championships 3 separate times.
Yeah.
2001, I went to Poland, and then 2018 and 2019, I went to Turkey and then to Romania. In 2018, I took second in the Masters class to Ryan Espy from Canada.
Legend.
I trained really hard. I wanted to go back the next year, and I went back in 2019, expecting that I could probably win the Masters class, the 40 and over.
Your focus was Masters.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I went there for that reason. I wanted to win that class, and it ended up. I did well. I was able to win that class, and it was relatively, I don't want to sound cocky, but it was relatively easy.
Be honest, yeah.
And I just threw myself into the seniors class, the open division, just to kind of see where I'm at.
Yep.
And fortunately, like, I don't know what happened, like everything just kind of lined up to where I was able to win that class as well. If people that have been in arm wrestling for a while know that it's not easy to pull consecutive days. No. And at the World in the World Championship, you pull left hand one day, right hand the next day, and then they go to left hand for the other division the next day. So I pulled 3 straight days, and that last day, my arm was in between matches. It was screaming at me.
Sure,
but it just worked out, and I ended up winning the Open, the seniors class, and the Masters class in 2019. And it's a lot of people don't understand that's a pretty big feat.
Very few people can say they've done that.
I think 4
people ever
have done.
You're one of them.
I am one of them. Ingen Terzi.
Yep.
He's another, and then Ron Bass. The other guy, the other guy, I don't know the name. He's Eastern European. I don't remember who he was.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty big check mark for me. Like it was something else. It was a really, really good experience.
Absolutely. And goes to show you the work that Prudnick has cut out for him.
Well, he's won like 12 or 13 world championships.
Yeah, let's be real. He's no stranger to the hardware.
He is a phenomenal arm wrestler.
Yeah. Speaking of, how do you feel your current form is for Saturday? Is this the best Kody we've ever seen? How are you feeling?
Yeah, that's so hard to say. People say I'm the strongest I've ever been, and I don't know if I can say that. I feel really good.
Okay.
I have been having some back issues. I've had them for over a year now, but when it comes to arm wrestling, it doesn't seem to bother me. But my arm feels good. Like I feel pretty good. Okay. I really do.
What metrics do you have for that? Are you really tracking your weight in the gym? Is it mostly with your arm wrestling?
It's mostly with arm wrestling. I don't do a lot of in-gym training.
Really?
I'm kind of like the John Brzenk school.
Sure.
I practice with my team. I have guys come to my club, my house every week.
Yeah.
And just beat up on each other for a few hours.
Yeah.
And I turned 50 this year, so I don't heal like I used to, and doing a lot of gym stuff and table time, it's tough when you're older.
Yeah. So what advantages do you think you have over Prudnick? What is your win condition? Is it just your hand is going to be that much stronger? Are you cracking his wrists?
It's my mustache. That's what it is. He does not have this mustache.
He does not. He also doesn't have the cowboy hat.
No.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, please check out Kody's channel as well as Prudnick's. They've been going back and forth. And this has become somehow a match between a mafioso and a country sheriff. So we are going to find out which one of those comes out on top. Yeah. Do you have any history with Prudnick? Have you ever grouped up with him for shared opponents?
We've shared opponents. We have both pulled Alejon Yotov. Prudnick did well. I mean, considering who Alajon is, nobody really does well against
the guy. Left-handed, he is.
I feel like I did pretty good. He beat me 3-0, but I was able to get his wrist. I felt pretty good against him. But Prudnick just jumped right into a hook with him and gave him a bit of a war.
Yeah.
So that does scare me. I do think that I need to try and keep him out of a hook.
Yeah.
And that's no surprise. I mean, people are saying, well, Kody, why are you telling this? Everybody knows
I don't think
that I top roll.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and keep him out of a hook.
If you end up in a hook, do you have a shot or do you not really?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lay down. I'll give it a whirl.
Sure.
But I'm really going to focus on staying out of it.
Really?
I want to get my wrist low and put it into his pinky and just try and flatten his wrist. That's my plan. And you can go tell him. I don't care.
I'm sure he'll watch this. We haven't seen him pull for a little bit, but I think it's been about a year since his last left-hand match with us. But do you think you're the underdog, or is he? Or do we not really know? Do we not know?
According to all the prediction that people are doing, I would say he's probably like the 60-40, maybe 65-35 favorite. And it's because of his history. Like he's really good.
He's Prudnick. Everyone knows that name.
Yeah. And he is actually stepping up to a bigger class. This is not his weight class. He's I'm a super heavyweight, and he's just the heavyweight class. I shouldn't say just. He's naturally in the heavyweight class.
Right.
He is jumping up to a heavier class to arm wrestle me. But I mean, it's when you get at a certain level, there's hard to find a lot of people that are in your own class. When you get to that, I don't know, there's just like echelons of people.
Yeah.
And the gap between different levels, it gets kind of big sometimes.
Sure.
And with Prudnick, there's just not a lot of people in his weight class that could really give him consistent good matches. There's a few.
Right. Yeah, we saw the same thing with Hutchings, right? They kicked him out of the middleweights, and you're done here.
Yeah, he just dominates so many, and
one of those.
He's got, if he wants to arm wrestle, he's got to step up.
Yeah. What's your current weight?
I weighed in this morning before I left the house at 334.
Nice. Is that a comfortable weight for you?
I'm actually down. I don't know why. I haven't really been trying, but I've been more along the 335 to 360. So I'm down 20-ish pounds, somewhere in there.
Okay. You know what it is? You've been trying to find Prudnick. You've been trying to hunt the country, trying to hunt him down.
Been all over.
Yeah.
On horseback.
On horseback.
When you watched that video, did you feel bad for the horse?
No.
I did.
I felt bad for Prudnick. You're hunting him, man. I hope he's ready. Have you seen him here?
Actually, I saw him in the lobby a little bit ago, and he gripped up right-handed, and he's like pulling all over.
Really? Okay.
And then he tried to grip me left-handed. I'm like, no, not happening.
How do you feel on the right?
My right's never been what my left is.
Sure.
It's kind of frustrating because I am right-handed, but for some reason or another, it just hasn't worked out. And I have an event next weekend in Salt Lake with the right hand.
Yeah.
So I'll still arm wrestle. It's not the same.
Fair enough. You have been in the game for a long time, and so you have a very unique perspective on our headline match, John Brzenk versus Yoshi Kanai. So I'd really like to hear how you see that match going and why.
So, when a little bit more about my history, when I got married to my first wife, and Robert Baxter actually hired me to work for his company.
Really?
So I moved to Salt Lake from northern Utah, and when newlyweds, we just barely got married, and we went down there, and I started working for him he had a video duplication reproduction company.
Yeah.
So I was working for him. He was my boss, and I started to go into practices with him. And when we first started going, we were going to practice at Bill Brzenk's house.
Oh, no way.
John's little brother. And so from the very beginning of my arm wrestling career, I have been, I guess you could say, under the tutelage, but John's really not a teacher. I arm wrestled with John my entire career.
Yeah. So you know him as good as anyone.
I know who John is, and I know what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
I also was around when he and Yoshi were filming stuff and doing the
Pulling John.
Yeah. And I remember Yoshi when he had the long hair. I think that John, if anybody can go through Yoshi's King's move, it would be John.
Yeah.
But the thing that kind of worries me is I know that John right now can't beat Todd, and Todd really struggled.
Yeah, with Yoshi.
Yeah, with Yoshi, and that kind of worries me because I never want to see John lose because he's John. He's like he's the GOAT. Like,
Yeah.
You don't ever. These younger people don't understand what he did or what he has done. It's remarkable if they could just step back and get off of social media enough to think, oh, these new thin dangled people. John is incredible.
Yeah.
He really is. And I hate seeing him lose. And I really think he can win, but it's not going to be easy.
Definitely not. One thing is for sure, it's not going to be easy. Most people think Yoshi will get the stop right above the pad. John will probably have to whip out a press. Hopefully not, but he might have to do it. I mean, this is a legendary match. I don't want to seem biased toward John's favor. I just want to see a great match. I will say I sat down with Yoshi, and he said he may very well be in the best shape of his life right now. And so we've seen John get pinned by Yoshi in the past, and here comes Yoshi, potentially better than ever. He's got a real shot at this, so I hope John's coming in prepared.
I do too, especially if it's going to be his last match.
Yeah.
I want to see John win.
Yeah. Well, either way, what a privilege to watch him just maybe one more time.
For sure. To be right here.
Yeah.
This is super exciting for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll all be glued to the screen. Excited for you as well. Give me a final score prediction for you and Prudnick.
To be honest, I think I've got to win 3-0.
Yeah.
I don't know that my endurance is going to be what his is. I'm a bigger, heavier man. And I think if he wears me out, it could be a very long day for me. Okay. So in order for me to win, it's got to be 3-0.
Yep.
I think if he gets a win on me, it's going to be super hard for me to do it. So my prediction, my hope is 3-0 for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm shooting for. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. There you go. Sweep or bust. Thank you so much for your time. If you haven't yet, once again, the link will be in the description. Catch the pay-per-view. Watch John Brzenk pull Yoshi Kanai. Watch Kody Merritt pull Evgeny Prudnik. It is a stacked card. You don't want to miss it. And once again, make sure you leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. We'll be giving away a signed arm wrestling strap from Kody himself.
Oh, I did. I signed a bunch of them.
Yeah, yep. So we're not bluffing. We got them. We got the goods. Hey, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This was a pleasure. We're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, guys.